right, welcome
back.
It's still Breakfast Daily, and the conversations continue. We're getting into the health segment this time, and we're talking this morning about breast cancer.
Of course.
Looking at the risk factors. What is it that typically people should look out for when it comes to the issue of breast cancer? And how, well, first of all, how to live, how to be safe, how to make sure that, you know, if you have it, you catch it early, and all those things. We're going to get into that. We've been joined on the set this morning by Dr. Priscilla Awadzi, and she is a general practitioner with the Trust Hospital. Dr. Awadzi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well,
Good
and
to
you?
have you here.
Very,
well,
very well.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Like the way your pink is popping out. Pink is popping
Yeah,
out.
we are pinking it up this
Yes.
month.
That's very necessary.
Yes. Nice to have you here. I mean, nice to be part of your set.
We're
I'm
glad
really
to
grateful.
have you. We're glad to have you.
Yeah.
So breast cancer, I mean, we've been talking a lot about it, and particularly in the month of October, over the past several years. Breast cancer is something you can't hear enough about, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere. It's in your face, it's in your ears, it's imprinted in your mind. But a lot of people probably still don't know what their risk factors are. You know, what the things that they're doing that are probably putting them at risk, the things that just by virtue of being who you are, so me as Apioko, or him as David, or you as Dr. Awadzi, you know, is putting us at risk. So let's walk through them.
Okay. So breast cancer is now a worldwide, let's say, a pandemic, because the cases are steadily rising up. And it's important that we all get to know what we contribute to in getting breast cancer. And there are several risk factors, and they are grouped into the modifiable and the non-modifiable ones. Okay, so the non-modifiable ones are the ones that you can't really do anything about.
Okay.
Okay, and then the modifiable ones are the ones that you can do something to prevent the breast cancer. Okay. And it's been said that 1/3 of breast cancer cases can be preventable. 1/3 to about a quarter can be preventable.
Okay.
And then the others, no matter what you do,
There's nothing
you're
you can do
unable
about it.
to
You can
do
do
anything
about
about it. Okay, so we'll go through the two categories I spoke about. So we have the modifiable risk factors. So the modifiable risk factors I mentioned are things that you can do something about to prevent breast cancer. The first is smoking. Yes. Luckily for us, in our setting, we don't really have a lot of females or male smoking. So that is a good thing. But if you have a relative, or if you work in a place where you become a secondary smoker means that you are not actively taking in the cigarettes, but you are in an environment where people are smoking and you are inhaling. You tend to even get more of the irritants than the person who is smoking.
Because
And
theirs
so-
is
Because there's
filtered,
a
yours is
filter,
not.
yours
Yes.
isn't.
Definitely. So, so those working in the nightclubs and these kind of places where smoking is not prohibited are at risk. So you have to think about either your life or the money you're going to get from working there. Yes. And then we also have alcohol consumption.
Okay.
Okay, so we advise taking alcohol in moderation. Okay, a lot of people feel that, it's weekend, let me just binge on the alcohol. That increases your chances significantly. We advise for women a glass of wine or a small cup. I think they use this tots
Yes.
cups. So one of that a day is fine for women, especially because breast cancer affects women more. Yes, and then taking a bottle of beer a day is okay. But if
So
you
if you
tend to
step out,
binge,
you're either doing one shot,
yes,
one glass of wine, or one bottle of beer.
yes, if you do more than that, you are really putting yourself at risk. Yes, so, unfortunately, I don't want to cut the joy of spending time with the girls, but I mean, you have to think about your health when you are enjoying yourself. And then lack of exercise. It's well, now it's something that is coming up. A lot of people are engaging in physical activity, and that is a good thing. But if you're somebody who doesn't engage in that, I think it's high time you started.
Okay,
yes,
so what are we terming as exercise? Do you have to go to the gym, or can you just
Well,
go for walks?
okay,
You know, what's the
so
level of physical
we
activity?
advise brisk walking, 30 minutes brisk walking every day, or you do 75 minutes of jogging a week. That is adequate. If you decide to go to the gym to do more aerobics or to lift weights and all that, it adds on. But the recommended exercise for healthy living is what I mentioned. So 30 minutes brisk walking a day is okay. And then 75 minutes jogging throughout the week is fair enough. Okay. And then there are other, let me say, reproductive factors, all parts of the modifiable group. So having recurrent abortions or terminating pregnancies at the early stages can also increase your risk. Okay, and then deciding to have children later on in life, above 30 years, that is considered a modifiable risk factor. So those are the few modifiable risk factors I'll talk about. And then I'll zoom into the non-modifiable ones. Those ones you cannot do anything about. So we have having a family history of breast cancer where you have a parent, a sibling, or a child with breast cancer.
Yeah.
And then being a female, that is the #1 risk involved. If you're female, your chances of having breast cancer is 100 times more than in a male.
100
I
times.
see.
Yes, 100 times more than in a male.
Is it because of the hormones?
Yes.
involved
Yes,
as well?
the presence of estrogen.
Okay.
Yes, so exposure to estrogen is a risk factor for developing breast cancer. And then
I see.
if you have reproductive history, so you had your menses starting early, so less than 11 years, or having a late menopause greater than 55 years, that can also put you at risk of breast cancer. So those are a few I wouldn't want to bore you with all the details.
No, we want to know the details.
No, it's important for us to
Yeah.
get into those.
So that means that I know now a lot more girls are starting their menses earlier than before. Before you'd hear 13, 14, you know, now you're hearing 9,
Yeah.
you know, even, right? So if you're a mother or you're a parent or you're a caregiver and you have a young girl living with you who has started her menses at that age, what are some of the things that you should probably be doing so that you minimize the effects of the risk? Yeah.
Okay, so you have to consider the modifiable ones I spoke about. So exercising, you have to encourage your girl to exercise. If she's obese or overweight, you have to look at controlling that. And then alcohol consumption. Now the young ones, they tend to go for IDs, and then they're able to access alcohol. So you have to be quite strict on that for your
And it's
girl.
something that's quite rampant.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
here's a country where you don't even need an ID as a young person to get alcohol.
You can send
Yeah.
your child to
yeah,
go
when
and
you
buy.
see your child,
Send her
yeah.
with a basket and a napkin. Go
Yeah.
and buy some beers
Yeah.
from the corner
and
shop.
then she takes, if she decides to drink some of all of them, I mean, how do you even know? Yeah, so that is something we have to consider. Yes, and then smoking. So at least as much as possible, you have to prevent the secondary smoking. So if your girl decides to go to a nightclub often or decides to work in a nightclub, you need to, I'm saying nightclub because most of the time smoking is not prohibited in such areas. So that is just by the way. So you need to look at the modifiable risk factors. Those are the ones you can alter to improve the chances of not getting breast cancer. Okay.
So looking at Ghana as a whole, where would you say as a practitioner are the greatest challenges? Which parts of the country do we find the greatest challenges as far as breast cancer is concerned?
Well, we don't necessarily have a particular part of the country that has breast cancer being on the high. We tend to have issues with diagnosing early. And that is because a lot of people decide to, one, not have the screening done, or two, decide that they do not want any treatment for whatever they find wrong in their breast. They decide that, oh, they'll go to the prayer camps, and it is a spiritual issue. And so they do not come early, and they feel that they are fine until they are not fine. And then they rush. But when they rush, unfortunately, most of the time come in the late stages. And in Ghana, we have a 50% mortality rate for breast cancer, meaning that
50%.
Wow.
Yes, about
That's very
50%
high.
of the people that we diagnose with breast cancer are likely to die from it.
And is it because of the time that they
Yes, the
they
late
get found?
presentation.
Oh.
The late presentation. And it's something, that is the main reason why we are embarking on this breast cancer campaign, so that we screen and pick up as many as possible in the early stages, so that we don't have the prognosis, the bad prognosis of death and other bad complications that may arise from breast cancer. Yes, so that's about it.
Wow. That's a lot to take
Yeah.
in. So what are some of the symptoms that people should be looking out for? I know we'll be going to screening shortly, but what are some of the symptoms that should even want people to go for screening, apart from the screening itself and what you may discover?
Okay. So the common symptoms that a person with breast cancer may have, first of all, the changes in the sizes of the breast. And it's normal for you to have one breast slightly larger than the other. But when it's very obvious, then it's a problem. If one is getting swollen or one has become way bigger than the other, then you have to report to the hospital. And then if you pick up a lump, maybe your partner, whilst doing whatever you're doing, picks up a lump in the breast, or you yourself, you pick it up from your self-breast examination, then you should report, especially if you are above the age of 40.
Okay.
But breast cancer can also be seen in women less than 40, so you need to also report. Don't just trash it out and say that, oh, it's nothing. And then nipple changes and nipple discharge. So when you notice that your nipple has retracted, usually the nipple is supposed to poke out or be how would I even put it? It's supposed to point out from the breast. So when you notice that it is stuck inside, then it's a problem. You need to come for us to check.
Okay. And this is especially when it had popped out all this while, and all of a sudden,
yes, and
it
it's
seems to have
retracted. Yes,
very
and then if you notice any skin changes on the breast, it becomes like the skin of an orange. So you find a lot of puckering on the skin. You need to report. And then if you notice any dimpling, you can have dimples on your face. That is beautiful, but you shouldn't have it on your breast.
Okay.
Yes. So once you notice that, you have to report.
Okay. Wonderful.
Those are some of the basic things but we do a lot of education when we go for our screening programs. So catch us at any point that we have our screening, and you would learn a lot.
And that's going on throughout October.
Yes, throughout October. We are doing our screenings in the Trust Hospital, and then we are going to various institutions to also get the screening done for as many women as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
All right.
So,
No, it's okay. I think you can go for
yes,
screening.
yes. So
We'll
for
take
screening, we want you to. I think a lot of people still harbor a lot of fear. Unfortunately, a lot of women, especially. You know, the breasts they're a symbol of our femininity. We're very much attached to them. You know, a lot of people judge us and our beauty by them. So a lot of women still have a lot of fear, you know, when it comes to going for breast screening, and the men especially don't even want to go, you know. So I think we should just go see what the process are. People can see that it's really not harmful.
Okay,
And it's important to do it. Okay. So we're just going over this way.
Okay.
Yes, so doc. Okay. So here we are.
Yes, here we are.
We have a patient for you, a client for you. Hi. Okay. So
Yes.
doc, I think the floor is yours.
First of all, before you do any examination, you need to introduce yourself to the person.
Okay.
So I'm Dr. Priscilla Waji. Please, what's your name?
I'm Helen.
Helen. Okay. Helen, so I'm going to examine your breast, okay, if you don't mind. Any problems? Do you have any issues with the breast? Any pain?
No.
Not at all. Okay. So before we go on to touch, okay, we do what we call an inspection. So we look at every part of the breast to see if there's any skin change or nipple change or anything that will be considered abnormal. Okay. So it looks normal to me. Well, I can't see everything through the dress,
Yes.
so
We don't want to expose Helen
yes,
too much.
we can't expose.
Sorry to
Helen.
disappoint you.
Yes. So from the contour and everything, it looks fine. So we are going to examine her, okay, with our 4 fingers. So when we are examining, we use our the palmar aspects of our 4 fingers.
Okay.
And that is what we recommend for all those that do self-breast examination. Do not open up your fingers whilst examining.
Okay.
And do not use the tip of your fingers, okay? And we advise that
So
when
this
you're
is for
doing
self-examination.
yeah, this is for self-examination, but we also do the same when we are examining. Okay, and we encourage self-examination in every woman once a month. Yes, we encourage that you do it once a month. For women who are menstruating, we advise that maybe 5 days or 7 days after your menstruation, then you go ahead to do the examination, the self-breast examination. For menopausal women, we encourage you to do it once a month. You pick a day in the month, maybe let's say your birthday is 15th December, you pick a day 15th in every month, and then you examine your breast. Okay, so we are going to examine. So first of all, we are going to examine the right breast. So the right hand goes behind the head. Yes, at the occiput. Good. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to start in a circular motion using the palm of our 4 fingers. We're going to start at a point. So you decide to start either down or up. Anywhere is fine, but make sure you end up coming
In the
back
same
to where
spot.
you started from. Okay, so we go in a circular motion. Make sure you take the breast to touch the chest wall. Okay. Do not hold it like you are squeezing a bread or something. No. So we expect it to be flat.
Okay.
Yes. Make sure your palms are flat. And then you go in a circular motion all round. Ensure that every part is examined. Okay, sorry. So you see I came back to the same point I started from. Then we come to the nipple area. So you feel for any lumps in the nipple area. Then when you're done, you squeeze the nipple to check for any fluid that may come from it. Okay. Then the last place is to go to the armpits or the underarm area to feel for any lumps there, because the breast extends all the way to this part. Okay, so then we are done with the right breast, so we move to the left. So we switch.
Switch. Okay.
Yes, so we start from here, doing a circular motion.
Okay.
And then come back to where we came from. Then we go to the nipple area, feel for it, and then squeeze.
Okay.
For when you're doing your self-breast examination, we advise that you squeeze with your
Okay.
the
Scissors.
index, yes, index and then the middle finger.
Okay.
And then we check the underarm or the armpits, and then we're done.
Okay.
So,
So the
simple.
question I have is that for men, how often should men do self-examination?
Oh, as often as they can. You can also decide to do it once a month.
Okay.
Even though it's a rare thing to find in men, there are 1% of the population of men have had or have been diagnosed with breast cancer. So it's still significant.
And do men have predisposing factors? Are these the same thing as women?
Most of the time, it's more or less like a family history.
Okay.
And then maybe the modifiable risk factors. If the man smokes a lot, I mean, smoking causes all ailments. I mean, it's related to all ailments. So once you smoke, you're a heavy smoker, you have risk of lung cancer, all kinds of cancer. Yes, and then alcohol consumption, because men tend to take more alcohol than women. Yes, so that's is
pretty much what
pretty much.
But can men also come in for screening?
Yes, we are screening both men and women. So we have a target of 5,000 pairs of breasts to be screened for this year.
5,000 pairs of breasts.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. So whether male or female. So whether male or female, we are screening everyone.
Okay. All right.
As many as would allow us to touch their breast, we will screen.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Fantastic.
So, I mean, how do we find you? How do people, come get screened?
Okay.
Do you just walk in? How does it work?
Yes, so the Trust Hospital has several branches across the region, Greater Accra region. We have a branch in Tema at the Tema Market, Committee 2 Market, and there's an open day screening. So from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. there are people there to screen all the time, and this is the same for all the other clinics we have at Dome, Dansoman, Adenta, Sakumono. And our main hospital at the at Osu, which is on the Oxford Street, is also open for screening. Yes, so you just walk in, tell them that you want to get your breast screened, whether male or female. And our adolescents too, we should consider them. Yes, so you can come with your girl, maybe 10 years, who has developed her breast. Now a lot of the young ones are developing very fast at an early age, so we can pick up something when we screen. Yes, so
is the screening free?
Yes, it's free.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then across the rest of the country,
Yes.
outside of the Greater Accra region, there are other spaces that they can go to.
Yes, so there are several hospitals that are actually embarking on the Pink October campaign. So a lot of the hospitals are doing free screenings.
Okay.
Yes, we unfortunately don't have branches outside Accra or outside the Greater Accra region, but there are several hospitals that are also part of the Pink October campaign, and so you can get your breast screened, at any of these facilities.
Wonderful.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you
so
too.
much.
Thank you
It's
for
been a
having me.
pleasure having you.
I hope I hope you are not in pain. No.
All right, so
Okay,
Dr.
thank you so much.
Priscilla Awaji, thank you very
please.
much.
Thank
All
you
right,
for having me.
So, well, we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Breakfast didn't continue shortly.